In my class this week, we're talking about practice design and drill design and how to improve common drills and make them better. And so one of the things that I'm realizing as I talk to coaches and then I discuss this with my class is that coaches have a hard time going from a basic, more common drill such as, the three-man weave or a two-line passing drill or a stationary shooting drill, something that you see a lot that, typifies block practice, constant block practice, and really lacks a lot of the same constraints that one faces in a game. And to move those into more complex drills that include some of the task constraints without simply going to a scrimmage situation. So I think one of the keys in practice design or drill design is being able to come up with drills that have that intermediary effect. So they're more complex than the basic constant block practice, but they're not quite a full scrimmage. Whether that full scrimmage is a small-sided game or a full-sided game, or whether there's some form of constraints on it. But to me, there has to be kind of an intermediary step where, especially with beginner players, you can practice a specific skill without it simply being a game. So for an example, let's say we take a three-man weave, so we're working on passing on the move, passing to a moving target. To me, to improve that drill, that doesn't mean we should play 3-on-3. Okay, now I love 3-on-3. I think more coaches should use more scrimmaging practice. I think playing a lot of 3-on-3 in practice has its value. But if I want to practice passing for beginners, I think there's an intermediate step between a three-man weave drill, and the scrimmages. So, that could be something like, and I'll try to link these below, but something like what I call the Long Island passing drill, which it's a soccer drill, where players are passing to each other, they're moving around. There's two teams. If you have enough players, there's three teams, but you're only passing to your own team, and the other teams aren't defense, they're just kind of in the way. So you're having to be aware of passing lanes, you have to find the open player, scan the court, all these things that are important in a game, but you're not defended as you make these passes, and your pass receiver isn't defended as you make the pass. And then to add a little bit more complexity, then you can add defense in the form of, say, advantage passing drills. So maybe 3-on-3 with two extra offensive players, so it's always 5-on-3 on offense. So to me, these are still passing drills, and they can be made to have some competitive element. So, in a 5-on-3 advantage drill, we'll go first team to 50 passes completed or something like that. So we can add a competitive element, but it's not moving straight from a block constant practice drill to a scrimmage. When I was coming up as a player, that's how practices were. We did a number of block constant drills, block constant drill for shooting, one for layups, one for passing, one for defense, one for dribbling, and then the last 10 minutes maybe we did a 5-on-5 scrimmage, or we did some 5-on-0 offense, or maybe we worked on our press break or whatever. And so to me, I think rather than making it a 2-hour scrimmage at practice, we need to replace those block constant drills with more variable and random drills that are practicing the same skill, so passing in this case, but incorporating some, most, or all of the task constraints that we face in a game when we're trying to pass the ball. And so it's still a passing drill. It's not a game, but it incorporates a lot of the same constraints that one would face in a game. And so then the transition in practice is we do this passing game, keep away type game, or a Long Island passing drill. And then at the end we still, and then we move into a scrimmage situation. So our drills, rather than being block constant drills, our drills are variable and random, and they're including a lot of the task constraints that we face in games. And then we transition to games where those same task constraints are there in the scrimmages, and we can apply that skill and combine it with other skills in a game format. And so when I'm talking about practice design and drill design, these are the things that I'm trying to mention and discuss and convince coaches, I guess, is the need to reduce the number of the block constant drills and replace those not only with scrimmaging, although again I like scrimmaging, I like 3-on-3 play, but with skill-based drills that just incorporate some constraints. For me that typically will be ball handling drills will include tag, passing drills are generally keep away drills, defensive drills I like things like the mirror drill. So these are one skill specific drill, but they incorporate a lot of the constraints that will be there once we play a game or we scrimmage. And so there's a transition, and it's not simply going from block constant, two-man passing back and forth to 5-on-5 scrimmage. And so there's drills that we can use that have random and variable aspects to them, so that we can focus on one skill but still develop skills that are appropriate and use the same type of techniques and decision making that we're going to face in a game. So hopefully the practice in these drills transfers better to game performance, whether that game is in a practice setting, or a competitive game.